Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Paps, a Rising VTuber and an artist, and today I'm three-dimensional. So you guys might have remembered that I was working on a 3D model before I took my little break. I actually managed to finish this last Monday. Finish might be a strong word for what this is. I think like definitely it's a working prototype, but I've got some ideas for how to improve it already. I think 3D modeling is one of those things where the task is just never truly finished. But yeah, I got like 3 dimensions now. I have gums. Look at my gums. Ah. I don't know if that's actually disturbing. I feel like that would be a little disturbing. But yeah, today we're going to be working on a project that I'm helping out a buddy with. His name is Raphael. Let me see if I can't get his Twitter handle on here. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, God, my neck is turning in such a weird way. I look like I'm saying no, like in a very whiny way. But yeah, go check out Raph's stuff. He's very active on Twitter. He does a lot of cool video editing. He does a lot of very interesting writing for comics. So if you want to check somebody out, definitely give him a chance. But yeah, this is for a project I'm working on with him, and I'll be flipping it over to the working screen. Oh yeah, I can also do this now. God, this will not get old. I'm telling you, this just will not get old. You know, once I get like a better grasp on my actual model, what I want it to look like. I've been flirting with the idea of using like different cut up parts of my own head for the purposes that I'm trying to achieve, but I haven't managed to actually put it into action just yet. But yeah, go check out Aaron Raphael on Twitter. Very cool guy. And let's get started on this. So this is supposed to be a scene of somebody being chased down a hallway. Where is my pen? There it is. A little rusty, you see. It's been a minute since I've streamed. Like, I was actually just thinking this to myself that it's been a week since I've streamed. You know, a week and a couple hours, give or take. You know, it's been a week and a day or so. And it feels super weird. Like, have you ever like left school for a little bit, like because you were sick or because your family just had a holiday at a weird time or whatever? So you just kind of like left school for a couple days, and then when you come back, it's like friggin' Joe Biden has visited your school playground, and you missed it because you were out somewhere else. It's a little bit like that. It feels a little bit like that. Like friggin' daylight savings time happened. That's still a thing. I wasn't aware that was still a thing. Like I honestly thought that like it was just abolished last year after that whole thing happened in the US. I don't know what that's gonna be like for Canada. I don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger on it over here either. They might. I'm not saying a definite no, but I am saying like it's probably not a yes, but I'm not saying it's a definite no over here. I'm guessing. I don't know. I liked having the extra hour. It's gonna suck when I have to give it back, but you know, I like having it right now. It feels better. Yeah. I miss summertime. I've had really nice weather over here recently for the past couple days. It'll be a lot nicer once I turn on my background music. Ah. Isn't that so relaxing? That same relaxing tune I've forced you guys to listen to for the past more than 6 months now, I think. I don't remember when I started replacing my background music, but it must have been a while ago now. Yeah. If y'all know anybody who's doing like background music commissions, I might actually hit them up because, you know, it would be nice to have something customized. I'm very much a DIY kind of person, but I don't think I have the power level. Well, first of all, I don't have the power level to make a song just yet. That's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is I don't have the power level to make a song that will play for like 3.5 hours and not make people want to tear their hair out. Like, that's powerful. Like, that's like what I consider as the mark of like an excellent BGM, is that even if you listen to it for hours on end, it just becomes more familiar rather than like stale. I feel like that. I feel like I'm not explaining myself fully, but that's just kind of how I feel. Okay. And you raise it up. And then stretch it back down. I am wondering if maybe I should try working on a very thin... Yeah, I think I should try working on this like the way you would on an ink comic, maybe? Because I recently had the opportunity to talk to a dude who did some pretty good comics, and I asked him like how he was like 100% ink style, right? Like this guy was, you know, he was like I use ink and ink alone for most of what I do. His wife also did comics, and she uses a digital tablet, but he kind of insisted on using nibs and ink drawings, which I think is awesome. I actually really enjoy using nibs myself. I should probably like make a stream doing that one of these days, so I can maybe not necessarily show off, but at least like kind of give it a shot on stream and on camera. But yeah, he basically does, you know, he kind of walked me through his process. That he said that he would start off with like the thicker lines. Like if he knows that there's something thicker in the foreground, he's gonna start with those lines. And then, you know, as you kind of have the background peter out in the distance, you kind of like want to thin up the lines a little bit. So I think this kind of thickness is perfect for foreground. And then we'll figure it out for the background. You know, we'll get it thinner, we'll vary the line thickness a little bit. You know, maybe even make these lines thicker depending on what we need. There we go. And just kind of curve it around here. I love working with 3D models. I say that a lot of times, but I don't feel even though I say it like basically all the time, I still feel like I don't say it enough. I love working with 3D models. Yeah. Yeah. Daylight savings time, huh? I wonder what kind of brain genius came up with that idea in the first place. Like, I'm not ragging on him. I think it's a perfectly sensible idea once you, like, if you approach it from a concept level. But I am wondering, like, the kind of galaxy brain kind of dude that needed to be around in the, what must it have been, 1800s? Maybe 1800s? To kind of, like, be the first dude to say, like, hey, it's getting kind of wacky outside. You know, the days are getting shorter. Why don't we, like, set the clocks back so it's not, our schedules aren't completely borked into the dark times. Wait, no, hang on. Okay, so, all right, so I need to prove something to myself conceptually right here. Okay, so you get minus 1 hour basically. So from sunrise to sunset. From sunrise to sunset. Okay. Right, okay, no, then that makes sense, because like this arrow would then go back a little bit, so the sun, so like so before it would have been like around here. You know, if we use like 7 p.m. as a reference point, it would have been around here before the time change, and now it's actually around here. Which makes sense, because then the sun sets later, you get an extra hour. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, if it's the other way around, that doesn't make any sense, but I kind of needed to do the math and show my work to make sure that wasn't the case. I don't know. If I don't work things out like that myself sometimes, it just kind of bugs. Okay, and then over here. I'm kind of thirsty for some water. Yeah. I read about this company, right? Have you guys ever thought about getting a tattoo? I haven't. I don't know what I would put on my body. You know, obviously there's no such thing as like a permanent feeling, but I fucking, to give you an idea of how wishy-washy I can be, I wrote an inspirational message to myself on on the back of my wallet, so that whenever I have to like open it up to get my credit card or something, I see it, and even I think that's cringe. like it's gotten cringe to me, you know. The message isn't necessarily bad. I'm not going to share what it is in case it is in fact cringe, but you know, I'm not going to give people that ammunition. But you know, I it's not necessarily a bad message, but you know, it kind of wore itself out to me over time. So I definitely couldn't get something that's like, how do you call it? Like, I couldn't get words on my body. I feel like if I get words on my body, I'm eventually going to think that they're stupid and I'll regret my life decisions. So I think it would definitely have to be some kind of image. My first instinct is an image of myself, but I feel like that would be a little bit redundant. But yeah, anyway, I bring this up because I know that there's this company called Ephemeral. I read about this company. They manufacture fade-away tattoos. So, you know, these are like stick-on tattoos. You know, they're a little bit like those like tattoos that you stick on yourself with a little bit of water. And, you know, after like a couple days, they like peel off because they're just like adhesive and pigment. So they're not really like legit tattoos. I imagine that these are a little bit stronger than that because they've been getting recent customer complaints that their tattoos aren't actually fading. How funny is that? Like, how badly do you have to mess up to like make a fading tattoo not stay? Like, I do think that that's really just the funniest shit. That's the funniest goof up you could have made, because, like, you know, on the one hand, these are people who would probably have willingly gotten those tattoos on their body anyway. You know, I feel like this is, like, the least damaging kind of demographic that you could have made. Because, on the one hand, whoever uses those fadeaway tattoos does want, like, the tattoo experience, but just doesn't want to commit to it. So it's funny that now that it's like when you're a kid and you write something on with like marker and you think it's gonna like wipe off if you use like a cleaning cloth or something, but it's like permanent marker and you didn't know. So now it's just on there forever. I was a friggin' menace with permanent markers as a kid, I'll tell you what. You know, I feel like I was just very strongly minded as a child as to what should be permanent, so I just kind of marked every, you know, if I got a permanent marker on my hands, that was trouble. Particularly because I just absent-mindedly drew on myself. Yeah, that used to be a problem, that I just like write on my hand and everything. Now I use like post-it notes and like a notebook and like a phone app or whatever, because, you know, it's a bad look if I'm like at the office and I like, you know, I need to get some hair out of my face and they can see the back of my hand and it just says like, "Get milk" on the back in all caps. I don't drink that much milk, but you know, that's kind of the vibe that I'm trying to avoid. You know, I don't think it inspires confidence in the client if I have reminders of how to not be a doofus scrawled on the back of my hand. You know, I feel like that'll I'll lose some authority in their eyes because of this. To be fair, it's not like they can just say no to me, but it probably will give them the gumption to push me around if they didn't have it already. Like, this is like the gumption make or break scenario for them. Okay, so this shoulder here. Okay, yeah. I need some way to make it more distinguishable that this is the shoulder, this is the bicep, and this is the arm joint. You know, I need to figure out a more clear way to show that which part is which. I could just give I could just give Hawk here huge pythons on her arms. I mean, that's an option for sure. What I could do as well is I could maybe extend this part here. There we go. What we could do as well is work around the fabric a little bit. So let's kind of take away everything that's here. Let's also like reduce the opacity a little bit of this pink line, of these pink lines, so that it's good to have them there so I have a reference, but it's not good if I can't see where I'm actually drawing. I think I need to twist the torso around just a touch. Yeah, I think the shoulder rotation is not healthy. Maybe if I spin around, nope. No. Oh wait, what about this part here? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, let me just kind of finagle this gun arm around just a tad. I feel like we're just getting back to square one here. Can't help but feel like that we're just kind of going back to the original pose, but that's fine. If it only works one way, it only works one way, you know? Let me curve this wrist. No. What we want is actually to kind of like bring this closer like this. No, hang on. Bring this a little closer. No. Yes, no, yes. Yes, okay. Let me just curl these fingers in just a little bit more. Uy, ¿qué te pasó, señora? Her wrist got really unhealthy right there just for a minute. I think what I can also do is maybe emphasize a little bit more about like the sleeve, like maybe increase the size of the sleeve itself a little bit, just a touch, not too much, don't go crazy. But kind of like this a little bit. Nope. Yeah, that's still bothering me. What I could do is then maybe like turn... Maybe I went in the wrong direction. Maybe I need to do it like this. Oh yeah. I'm seeing the problem now. I feel like I'm some kind of masseuse, just being like, you got a lot of tension in the back here. Alright. Okay. What? Okay. So then I think what we could do, because this is kind of bugging me a little bit, I'm gonna move it around here. Let me just move that up just a little bit more so that it kind of like... so close, so close, so close. The good news is I can always move this back if, you know, I just end up very unhappy with the whole thing. I can always just like Control C it all the way back. That's the good news. Still needs a little bit more rotation. Okay. So then that would put this other character somewhere over... Still a little too high, a little too high. Can we get this lower? Come on. Is that grips properly? There we go. Okay, this would again be a little bit lower. The weird thing is that, like, because I've gotten so used to Blender's 3D controls that now, like, CSP's 3D controls just feel a little bit primitive. I've been spoiled. I've been spoiled. Okay. And then we can just move this other character over here. I think we can still kind of keep that same perspective, because that's kind of what we wanted, was to maintain that perspective of, hey, huge, big, looming thing about to attack the protagonist. It's gonna work. Let's just move the camera like all the way back here. No, we wanted more like this. Alright, so we bring this kind of a little bit closer like this. Let me make sure that she's staring at where she's supposed to be staring. Okay, keeping this kind of on the gaze there. Perfect, 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 perfect. Spin the gun around just a little bit, because that again is bothering me just a touch. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that still retains... Uy, perdón. Yeah, what we could do is also move them a little bit closer together so that we can get a little bit of a nicer perspective. Just a little bit closer together. Scooch up a little so I can get you both in the frame. Thank you. I always like treating the 3D characters being in... Oh, forgot to move the gun. I like treating the 3D characters like they're both in the same kind of frame. Okay, maybe if I spin this one around a little bit. Let me... Okay. Now, if I wanted to move this thing into her... Okay. I feel like the phrase hurt box needs to be used outside of a fighting game context, because I feel like hurt box could be applied for a lot of things. I feel like it's just a very appropriate word that's used in a very specific context, but it could be more multi-purpose. Like, I mean, you could if you're not a coward. That's how you add new words to the English language, after all. Is that somebody's just like, yeah, fuck it, we say this in the English language now, and everybody else just has to cowboy up and suck it. Alright. Okay, so that does turn them both around, but just not in the direction I was expecting. God, okay. Okay, is this anything? Okay, yeah, that's something, okay. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Can we move this gun a little over here without once again breaking the shoulder? Is that something that we can accomplish? I almost feel like it's easier to pose the gun and then pose the robot. Not the robot, the hand. Well, no, the hand is also technically a robot. You know, in an abstract kind of way. Like, these are very much mannequins with no free will of their own. It's not fair to pretend that they do have it, you know, free will. You know, that is a cruel lie that is simply not true. Am I okay? What the fuck was that? I feel like I was just about to give like a JRPG villain monologue. I feel like we all have those moments where like we've just had enough of today and we just want to, like, you know, sometimes you just kind of have to realize that, you know, you need that kind of JRPG villain monologue in your life. Okay, so then I think we can pretty much just take what we have of Hawk already down here and just shift it a little bit over here. Yeah. Do I just restart it? I think no. I think we keep the helmet, but we just restart everything else. No, the helmet's also in a different shape. Hang on. I should also tilt the head a little bit more. Like, I want to tilt the head so that it's like... that you can see at least a little bit of the goggle. Yeah, that'll do. Time for a little bit of water for me. Oh yeah. I don't know if this showed up in anybody else's feeds. I know because of the friggin' newsletter that I get. Deigned to show me this. Apparently a couple weeks back now. No, it wouldn't be a couple weeks back. Last Monday, I think it would have been. Last Monday was October 31st. Okay, no, so it would have been a couple weeks back, actually. You know, on second blush, it would have actually been a couple weeks back. A couple weeks back, somebody like uploaded a video of, you know how like they have those food delivery robots now? Like they have those like little wheelie bastards that like grab your skip the dishes order or what have you, and then they just bring it to your house. Well, somebody posted a clip of one of those poor little guys. It was really funny. They were like traveling in a pack. There were 3 of them. 2 of them managed to cross a railroad crossing safely. The third one did not have so much luck. No, the third one just got run over by the train. And let me tell you, it was brutal. You saw little bits of its like lithium-ion battery just like on fire. Yeah, it was just like it was something else. It was something else. God. Yeah. Anyway, somebody posted a picture of that and they were like, RIP to this poor food delivery robot and whoever ordered that food, because they are for sure not getting that back. How would you even write that on an insurance form? You sure can't call it an act of God. It's just a train. I don't know. I imagine those things have to be like insured, right? Like in some way. They look expensive enough. God. Every time I think about insurance, I think about... I've never managed to finish reading a Discworld book. I always have like other stuff, kind of other things in my life kind of drawing my attention away and kind of getting in the way. But I did start actually reading the very first one in the series, which was The Color of Magic. And in that book, they have a medieval society, like a kind of fantasy medieval society. And they have this dude who's like from a more kind of advanced society who is an insurance salesman. And he actually manages to sell insurance to one of these like medieval guys. But the medieval guy basically takes it to mean that the insurance guy will give him a thing of gold if he burns down his bar, which strictly speaking is absolutely true. But like the guy just hears like, he'll give you money if you burn down your bar, and so he's just about to go burn down his bar because of the money. Like every time I think about insurance fraud or like insurance as a concept, I think of that guy. It's very hard not to. It's a very powerful image. And the funniest thing is that, like, as he's kind of like setting up to, end his bar rightly, he's not taking chances. You see, he's lighting up gasoline. He's doing a bunch of stuff to ensure that this bar goes up in flames. And as he's fumbling with the matches, he like loses one, and he's like. Oh, God damn it. And then somebody, like a very raspy, husky voice goes like, "Do you need one of these?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And then he like looks to see who gave it to him, and it's just like fucking the Grim Reaper standing right there. And he's like, "Oh no." And the Grim Reaper's like, "Oh, but yes." I still think that's such a funny thing. I know the Grim Reaper's supposed to be like a recurring character in Discworld. I know that like he took over for Santa Claus one time. Or like he was Santa Claus conceptually one time. Or he was like the in-universe stand-in for Santa Claus. The Grim Reaper was Santa Claus in the Discworld universe for a little bit. I don't know the context for it. I imagine it had something to do with the original Santa Claus quitting. But I do know that that's a thing that happens in the Discworld novels. I do also know that Death becomes a rock musician eventually. Like I said, I don't know why I haven't read these things. I feel like these would be right up my alley if I was a kid. But the thing is, like, I'm one of those people who's like super bothered if they don't start something in the first one of the series. So like, even if the first installment is just crap compared to like the future installments, I just want to do it. Like, the only time this doesn't apply is like when it literally doesn't matter what order you watch them in. Like the Final Fantasy games, I can play those no problem in any order because I know that the actual sequence of it is irrelevant. But if it's like a long running series with like established characters and all that, instead of just characters that they borrow from other continuities, like in Final Fantasy, I feel like I have to read at least a little part of it to kind of get a bearing for those characters. I feel like I don't understand the full picture. I don't understand the full context without that. Yeah. It's a little neurotic, but, I feel like I enjoy it more because it has its ups and its downs. Its downs being that obviously you have to like read twice as much stuff to kind of get like an ounce of context. But it's also beneficial in that you kind of have a similar experience to people experiencing the series chronologically. You feel the same kind of highs and lows than if you just like picked up in the middle of the series. I remember as a kid I really wanted to read Skullduggery Pleasant for some reason. And we finally managed to find one of the friggin' books in the series, and it turns out that it was like the 5th or 6th one in the series. So we eventually just had to get the rest off of Amazon. It was really funny. Yeah, that was another thing. I didn't understand like media enough as a child to understand that you can have sequels that don't require additional continuity, but also like still have the same name. I was just like not very I didn't understand that kind of concept. I think the best thing to do is probably draw the jetpack strap right here. Not quite. Getting warmer. Maybe if I go backwards. There. Actually, yeah, okay, that works. Okay. We need to like maximize the thickness of these lines so that when we do the other lines they look relatively thinner. So let me just like bump it up over here. We can work a little bit more on evening out the line thickness as we go along, but right now we kind of want to get them nice and thick so that we can just kind of like we can always go thinner. We can't go... It's really difficult to go thicker. That's, at least for my case, that's kind of what happens. Okay. Then this would kind of go... actually, I bet I could probably like just finish up the silhouette right here. Alright, hang on. Yeah, I think that's a good game plan. Just finish up the silhouette, and then we go from there. I feel like that's one of the most important phrases to learn as an adult is just we go from there. I think that's one of the ones that has helped me to kind of cope the most, is just realizing that we don't have all the information at the moment. We might not be able to make the best decision, but we will make a decision, and, if we just hold our horses for a little bit, we can make the best one that we can. It kind of appeals to, like, the delayed gratification side of my mind. And let me tell you, that sucker is rambunctious. Oh, man. I have been reading, right? Like, I remember I read a thing this morning that said that a lot of the reasons why people are kind of falling out of reading as a hobby, out of like just generally making stuff and not having hobbies that don't involve like media consumption. I've never understood that. I've just been drawing since I was like 7, so that's kind of like my take on that. I imagine everybody kind of outputs a little bit of themselves out into the world in some way, but a lot of people like just are that tired. They come home from work, they're freaking exhausted mentally, physically, both sometimes, depending on your line of work, and you don't want to just kind of sit down and read a book. That's when you can just like watch a 15-minute YouTube clip of I don't know, friggin' Magni Desmond just saying the F word 15 times in a row and still getting the same amount of dopamine. They kind of made the argument that it's a lot easier to get serotonin or dopamine or like all those kind of good brain chemicals from kind of like shallow interactions with our phones than it is to get them from something that we might find more personally meaningful but takes more effort, relatively speaking, for the same amount of reward. I don't have a particular horse in this race. I think like there are things that I definitely believe that it's not just that like I'm not like a grouchy old man saying phones are ruining everything. I don't believe that so much, but I do believe that you need to kind of almost train your brain to understand that that secondary sense of gratification. You need to learn. You need to actually do things that you enjoy. It can't just be like you decide one day you want to read more, and you just start picking up whatever. You start picking up War and Peace or something like that. I feel like that's not how it should work. It's like you gotta read stuff that you enjoy. You gotta feel like you're having fun when you read it, and that's how you do that. That's how you have fun. That's how you kind of train yourself to overcome that barrier of I don't want to do this because going on my phone takes less work. I feel like that's almost how you might do it. That's how it worked for me, at least. I remember that the reason I read so much in middle school wasn't because wasn't just because I just loved reading. I do love reading. I read for sport, so to speak. But also because I was just reading stuff that I found absolutely fascinating. Adjust line width. There we go. I will say though, whoever decided that like an 11-year-old child should be allowed to loan out a copy of Ender's Game from their local school library should maybe reconsider like I'm not saying we should gatekeep books. I'm not saying we should gatekeep information, so to speak. I'm just saying maybe put like an 18+ warning on some of this crap. I'm just saying it might be a wise move. Okay, there we go. Hitchhiker's Galaxy and Guide to the Galaxy, though. No, just give that to them wholesale. Just let them mainline that crap. Trust me, it worked great for me. I do honestly feel that like more people should read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The thing is, right, for the longest time, and sometimes it still fails me to this day, is that sometimes I don't get why other people like. Sometimes I will like something so much that I will forget that it might not be for everyone. Like that is straight up a problem that I had. It used to be really bad. I have it less now. I am much more like, if this person wants to see this thing, then they'll find it on their own. That's kind of like my philosophy towards things nowadays. It's just, it's very Taoist almost. Like, if you want it, it will come to you. But something about the sleeve still is not working out for me. I think maybe, okay, what I could do is then maybe turn the elbow a little bit. Now, see, that's too bent is the thing. Like, I feel like it almost needs to be obscured a little bit here. Oh. Hang on, we were almost onto something there. We were onto something great. Hang on. Okay, I think that might be the one. I think this is how we do it. Where would the sleeve go? Right around here, I think. Yeah. Another thing that's fun about like larger images like this is that you have to keep track of tangents. Unlike my conversations, tangents are pretty bad when it comes to like drawing. If you haven't been on the channel for too long, a tangent occurs when... Okay, so like let's take this line right here that I've got to signify that there's a wall there. So say I drew a line for that right around here. And then further down, like let's say on the gun, I also drew the bottom of the gun like this. That would actually be really bad practice because then, you know, if you're looking at it from a distance, it looks like the gun is part of the wall. That's one of the... you know, I've only had like one... I don't know, I've mentioned this before. One time, my parents were generous enough to let me go to a cartooning camp one time. And it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. But it taught me so much stuff that just kind of bugs me to this day. That, you know, like... I don't know how to put it, like... It's the kind of thing that once you get into your mind, you will never be able to stop seeing it, and it's going to, like... It'll, like, haunt you. Tangents being one of the few things that that are in that grand repertoire. But yeah, that's one of the things that I remember reading about, not reading about, learning about in that one particular camp was tangents. So yeah, watch out for those. Not in conversations though. In conversations they're fine. They're my bread and butter. I can't live without my bread and butter. I know that's an expression. I've never really... Okay, so... God, this is gonna... I'm worried about where this is gonna go. So, I never understood eating bread with butter until very, very, very recently. And the way I kind of cracked the code is, well, first of all, I didn't know the butter had to be kind of melty on purpose when you did this. I didn't know that, like, people used to just keep salted butter out, that you could, like, you know, smear a little dab of it on your bread. I didn't know that that was a thing. I didn't understand that concept because, you know, growing up as a child, we refrigerated all our butter, which is what you should do to begin with. You know, because you're not a medieval peasant, you are a human being in the 21st century. Unless you just can't afford an electricity bill, in which case, hey, we've all been there. Okay, so... How would this... Okay, I think this would almost kind of go like... Okay, maybe I'll worry about that in just a second. I'll keep working on the silhouette first, though. Okay. Actually, we're pretty much done with the silhouette, too. Not diggity. We might actually be able to use the thicker lines back here, too. Hang on. There we go. This wrinkle is wrinkling my brain. Oh, okay, now hang on, I think I got it. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Okay, so then we scale up the width of these edges up here. Just really hit them with that. I don't know, thickness? Ooh, ah. Are you down with the thickness? I really want to learn how to do the proper ooh, ah, ah, ah from that song. I feel like it's just a lot of fun to do. Ooh, ah. Oh my god, I almost died. What a way to go that would have been, though. Yeah, you'd rock up to my tombstone at my funeral, it just says, Pabs, died for the bit. Okay, hang on, I gotta, like, connect these two. Connect vector line. Or maybe simplify. Simplify might be good. Interesting shape there, but not what I'm looking for. We gotta tone down the simplification as well. There we go. That's more like it. Oh wait, this is the scale down width. I need to scale this thing up, all the way up. And just for this one specific bit, just give it a little bit less of the treatment. There we go. Okay. I think from here we can move down to a slightly thinner line width. We were rocking about a 36 right there, so I think I'm going to move it down to like a 32. 22, 17. 42, 17, 13, hike. I never understood the point of like yelling out the stuff in football like that. I thought the entire point was that you weren't supposed to like let your team, the enemy team, know what you were doing. So yelling out your play always seemed like a dumb move. Of course, it could just be like a fake out, and you could just be doing the exact opposite thing that you said. Which, you know, would probably work for like about 15, I don't know, 5 seconds. Before they realized that you weren't actually doing what you were doing. Or what you said you were going to do. I don't know. Ironically enough, most of my knowledge of American football doesn't come from American football, but like it comes from friggin' Ice Shield 21. So forgive me if it's not exactly regulation kosher. I could have just said regulation. I don't know why I added kosher to that. Regulation standard? I guess that would be the one. Regulation standard. Yeah, forgive me if my sports ball knowledge isn't regulation standard. What's with this bump here? Oh, there we go. Let me add a little bit more line thickness there. There we go. Bump that back up to like 22-ish for the collar. Okay, I think it might be better to work from like the top part of the collar first and then down. Man, I still haven't watched Cyberpunk's Cyberpunk 20's Cyberpunk whatever the fuck Edge Runners. I don't I forgot if there was like the 2077 appended to that as well, or if it was just like it just did have a game tie-in at one point. I don't remember too much about that. Also, I'm a fool for not trying to draw the collar first since it could block off most of the shoulder. Whatever. We'll roll with it. Anyway, I still haven't watched Edge Runners, but I still found it so freaking funny that the main protagonist was like this nice looking kid who like looked like, you know, he tried to call his mom every day after school, and then like his collar was just popped all the fucking way up. like it almost covered his eyes. I thought that was really funny. Collar just absolutely pop. I'm collar maxing. If your shit isn't at least Count Dracula level, don't even talk to me. All right, you're a waste of my time. If your collar allows for peripheral vision, you're not speaking my language. Okay, there we go. Around here, maybe? Yeah, that'll do it. Right around here, I think. I'll need to put the other strap somewhere closer to here to make it more obvious that there is, in fact, a second strap. And it's not just... God, could you imagine how uncomfortable it would be to have a jetpack with only one shoulder strap? That would suck. Oh my god. Like, I made myself a little sick just conceptualizing it. Yeah, I learned recently, just very recently, that those like backpacks or messenger bags or what have you that have crunchy wrists. Those backpacks and messenger bags and what have you that have like one shoulder strap only. Those are supposedly very bad for your back because all the pressure is like on one side. So you're like always constantly compensating. So that's why they almost immediately give you back pain. And in retrospect, that's probably why my mom didn't let me wear them as a kid, even though I loved how they look. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Sorry, Ma. But yeah, I only recently realized that, and I was like, huh, that might explain why, because I used to wear a messenger bag to work. I had like a messenger bag. It was provided by the company and everything. And hang on, I'm gonna turn this off real quick. Just real quick. Where did I put this? Ah, yeah, here we go. Anyway, I had a messenger bag that they gave to me at work because, they give you a laptop, they might as well give you a messenger bag too, I think that was like their reasoning. But yeah, it's just kind of to keep your laptop safe. So those are like by default a messenger bag. These don't have buttons, they have a kind of like ridge to them. But yeah, they don't have, they gave you like a messenger bag at the place that I work, and I love the bag a lot because, first of all, it was a nice bag, and second of all, it was like a symbol that, I'd finally become a working adult. That felt pretty nice. But the problem is, like, that messenger bag was for sure. Like, I was wearing that messenger bag upwards of, like, 20 minutes waiting for the bus in the mornings. And then, you know, as much time, if not more, kind of waiting for the bus when I came home. So that, and I had another backpack as well that also was of the messenger variety where it only had one shoulder strap. So what ended up happening, I think, is that I was just like, okay, that makes sense now. And now I'm anti single strap backpacks. You know, I have flipped the vote. I have done a 180 on my politics. I am a 2-strap backpack kind of person only now. If your bag only has 1 strap, fuck you. Yes, even if you're a mailman. To be fair, male people are the only ones who should have those kinds of backpacks, because they do need that kind of easy access to all the letters that they're carrying. Like, that makes sense to me for their kind of career choice. You know, that makes sense that they would need that kind of mobility. You don't need that kind of mobility. Just freaking take off the strap. Nobody's gonna judge you for it. Just do it. Just like practice it. If you're worried about looking uncool when you take off the backpack strap, which I don't know why you would be, but if that's the main concern, you can just kind of like practice until you can do it gracefully. There we go. Okay, and I'll just add a bit of the strap back here. And the backpack over here. The actual jetpack over here. Yeah, I might also take some artistic licenses with how the gun is held. Got it. I remember seeing a post, right, about this picture of like this anime girl holding a gun, and it almost immediately some fucking dude just kind of like went into the quote retweets and was like, actually, the teapot cupping the handle like that isn't the optimal stance in this kind of situation, because what you'd actually want to do is you'd want to do like a variation of the access relock stance, blah 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 blah. And so on and so forth. Guns are like a very dangerous thing. Not just like conceptually that like they're dangerous because, you know, obviously they are the deadliest tool that man has ever conceptualized, but also dangerous in that the people who like guns will almost never stop being insufferable assholes about them. There are like people who are like normal about guns, but almost every dude who is like a fan of guns needs to be like the most knowledgeable gun person in the room and be like, oh no, you would actually want to do this. Like, they need to find something wrong with how everybody does something. I don't know, to feel special, I guess? It's like that a lot in like martial arts, I notice as well. Like, in YouTube comments for like something like Taekwondo or like, you know, whatever other martial arts that isn't like BJJ or what have you. You would have some friggin' galaxy brain genius going like, oh hey, you wouldn't actually use this in a fight. You would actually want to do this. The other guy would just pummel you to death if you did this. If you do this, you're an idiot, etc., etc. And I find like that's not very constructive. You know, obviously it's not particularly constructive because, you know, it's just delivered in a very passive-aggressive, or sometimes just straight-up aggressive kind of way. But also because, like, I feel like in a lot of martial arts stuff, in a lot of, like, you know, fighting choreography, particularly, not just for cinema, for other things as well, but for a lot of, like, martial arts choreography, the main point isn't to make it so that, you know, you have the most special kind of, you have like the most technically accurate thing, because like the most technically perfect and most technically accurate thing looks boring. You can't have situations where like the cool thing would actually work and is actually the most appropriate response. A lot of it is also the framing of it. And I know for sure that some martial arts people will appreciate that. Like if you have like anybody who knows martial arts, I remember watching Everything Everywhere All at Once and being psyched as hell for the scene where Waymond takes off his fanny pack and uses it as like a chain weapon. Because I recognize some of those moves. I did some research into like using a chain as a weapon, as a martial art, and he was actually using moves from what I'd seen. Like they looked familiar. Like whoever choreographed that, and obviously the person doing that stunt knew how to use chains, or like learned how to use chains as a martial weapon for that scene, and I thought that was freaking awesome. Kind of, it's all in the way that he like flipped his neck, or not flipped his neck, used his neck to flip the chain, because you see that a lot in these in like chain martial arts, that you actually use a lot of different parts of your body to redirect the force that the chain is, or redirect the motion of the chain. Okay, push this forward a little bit. Push this like this. Whoop! Erase a little too much there. Now, is this gun positioned properly? Hang on. No, not by a long shot. Okay, hang on. We just gotta kind of like etch this thing back into its proper place. Alright, hang on. Let me first put it back to kind of like the position it was in before, and then we take it from there. Almost there. That's quite a bit better, I would say. All right, let's go back to the drawing layer and see what we've cooked up for ourselves. Oh baby, that is a lot of edits that we have to do. Thankfully, it's just for the gun, and the rest of it is just fine. That's what always worries me about like the posing, is that you kind of have to get it right at first blush. Because otherwise, if you realize it doesn't work, then you have to redo a whole lot of work. That's why I was like fussing over it earlier as well. Man, it sucks that the year kind of on the one hand, it's great, but on the other hand, it kind of sucks that my sleeping schedule has to be automatically repaired every winter by this friggin' daylight savings thing. Like, now I'm getting sleepy at the time I'm supposed to be getting sleepy. What bullshit is this? I will say I was never, like, really... I don't know if there's, like, a hybrid version of, like, a night owl and an early bird. But whatever that is, that's what I am. Like, I'm kind of like an all-terrain avian. Like, I don't get, like, I don't have a particularly hard time rising early. I just end up more tired, but I'm fine rising early no matter what happens. It was just kind of like getting to bed later that, kind of always got me. Okay. I think there was like a third one as well. There was like an early bird, an evening. There was an early bird, a night owl, and I think there was also like an evening goose or something like that, or a noon goose or something like that. I remember reading that in like a U quiz or something. Just drink some water. Oh yeah, I recently saw that. I think it was like Nestle or one of those like food brands. Has been investing in something called thaw and eat cuisine. You know, they market it as thaw or eat, but I imagine like most people who are buying this will not be. Yeah, they were like thaw or heat, but the article very clearly said thaw or eat. Or like thaw and eat, rather than thaw or heat. So, those are going to be some exciting times for bachelor living. I've done some pretty, I've had some pretty desperate measures in my time for in terms of like bachelor meals. But at least I've never like done the thing where I like bought one of those like big hungry man dinners that you like microwave for 30 seconds and then you just like eat. I haven't done that yet. I haven't fed the hungry man just yet. Alright, I need to go check the reference that I had for this gun because I need to make sure that it doesn't look super weird or anything. Hang on. Esto va a tomar un momento. Okay, I see. Alright, but we're back on, boys. Yeah, it looked like a big pencil sharpening thing from the back here. There we go, and down the stairs she rolls. I need to straighten these lines out a little bit. Hang on, where's the Simplify Vector Line button? Oh, something went wrong back here. Look at that. Okay, let's just replace that right there with maybe a second blunted pencil tip. God, I just imagined what it would be like to write with like this pencil, with a pencil that had like this as the end point. I don't like that. I don't like that sensation. Not good. No way, no. There we go. Perfect. Then we can just do a little wrinkle here for the edge of the grip. And then a couple of fingies down here. Maybe a couple more as well. Why not? 1, 2, 3. Missing number 4. There we go. Okay, and then this is gonna go on this way. There we go. Okay. I feel like, okay, so you wouldn't be able to see them from this angle, but this gun has like these like vent slats from the side. And it also has like a vent underneath. So I'm going to like just draw those, even though they wouldn't be visible from this angle because it would look sick as hell. Yeah. You know, I don't know which great artist to like mock for this one. Andrew Loomis one. I don't know. What's people's general take on Andrew Loomis? Like, I know he made a lot of very important books, but I don't know like whether people treat him as like a venerated figure in the artistic community. You know, I don't know how off limits making Andrew Loomis jokes is. If at all, you know. I'd rather err on the side of caution. Okay, there we go. Oh, right, we also need to draw the iron sights for this thing. Let me actually borrow one of these longer lines here. Slightly less of an angle. There we go. There we go. And then... okay, I don't know where I would put the heat vents for this thing. Because you could see them like right there. They're like right beneath the... you know, they're like right under where the gun would cut off. Yeah, and I also want to kind of make it so that the maid is kind of like crashing through the billowing smoke of the gun. Okay, so we would need to make it the gun smoke below, like around here. Okay, so I cut that off. Okay, there we go. Like it'll kind of like wrap around here for the gun, for the sword, or chainsaw, I suppose. Should I go for that? I kind of want to see what happens. So I think what I might do is maybe on a separate layer sketch it out. Also, I need to like move up the original sketch for the other character. There is no object to transform? Well, that's just baloney. Okay. Okay, so we kind of want to match the heads and the arms. Okay, that works, I think. That would also mean that this leg would have to go like a little bit further out, this 1 foot right here. Just step and a step and a step and a step. And a 1 step and a 2 step and a 3 and a 4 and a psst. What was that last noise? I don't think that last noise is supposed to be anything. I'm not gonna worry about it, but I am gonna say that I need to like learn how to beatbox or something. I don't know if I'd be good at it, but I'm willing to give it the old college try. Okay, so I think this almost needs to be like a very kind of strategic, calculated vape smoke. Maybe it would also be better if I figured out where the smoke isn't. So I feel like... Okay, so the dress would kind of like come up around here. Okay. Then the sword would come up around here for sure. Like it would definitely like be dispelled a little bit by like the output of air from the blade. I mean, this way I can also get out of drawing some of the background. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just fooling. Although I should probably design the background first, you know, before I do anything too fancy. Drawing smoke is so much fun. Like, honestly, like drawing with just like fog and smoke, it's honestly pretty great. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is finish this off by figuring out some of the background, and then we're gonna call it a night. Okay, so the background, right? Background needs to be like an aristocratic home, so I'm gonna go into Unsplash and figure out something for that. So I'm gonna need to look like mansion hallway. Okay, we've got some good ones. Hang on, let me pull out the browser so you guys can see. This is the only window I have, right? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, bring this all the way over here. Let's take a look. Okay, so this one's not too bad. This is a nice photo, but that's not what we're looking for so much. Load more photos, yes please. That's too modern. Yeah, we want like an aristocratic kind of place. Don't know what's going on over here. I like how we have like a bunch of these professional photos, and then there's just like this one lady's. It looks like a high school graduation photograph. I don't know how to describe that any other way. That's what it looks like to me. That's like a high school graduation photograph. This person's got a real cool look. I like that. Okay. But yeah, I'm picturing like a place with like paintings or like some mansion, maybe just like normal hallway. No. Getting closer. Yeah, it's gonna be this. Oh, this might be the one. This looks a little too hotel-ish, but we'll keep it under our belt. You know, we'll keep it on retainer. Okay, what else you got? What else you got for me? Oh, baby. Oh, you know what I like. Oh, Arno, my friend. Arno, my buddy. Arno, my homeboy. Alright, let me download that just real quick. Okay, so Arno Senoner. Thank you very much for letting me use your photograph. Thank you for putting it on Unsplash to begin with. God, Unsplash really is just a lifesaver sometimes. You cannot get... We need those kinds of websites. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna use this, maybe with like a carpet and wooden paneling instead of the tile. But besides that, this is kind of like the vibe that I was kind of picturing in terms of like mansion hallway. You know, like maybe with some wooden paneling, some very kind of like fancy bricks. You know, doors that are curved rather than squared, you know. Really getting medium, you know, like I'm not sure, I don't know how hick my ideas of fancy are. Like, the other day I was like reading about capybaras on Wikipedia, as you do, and I was like, oh boy, I bet capybara meat is like some delicacy wherever it's eaten, and they're like, actually, if you eat capybara meat, they consider you a hick, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now my question is, do I keep the hand on kind of like the original part where I had it first, or do I like keep it right now? I think I'm gonna bring the hand out a little bit. I think I'm gonna stretch out that hand a little. Okay, so then what we're gonna... Okay, so I'm guessing right here would be a good place for one of these, like, wooden archways. I need, like, a perspective ruler. So, okay, so... Oh, I know. Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna add a new 3D object in here. Just take this, get out of here, 3D model. And now I can kind of like create that 3-line perspective ruler through here. Oh yeah. We're in business, baby. Yeah, it's also cool to look at like how different places do like... That's another thing that I learned, is that for every single wall, unless it's like supposed to be like concrete or something, you're gonna need to have like a secondary thing in place because they use those to keep away mice. Like you want to have like an additional thickness right here because those are used to keep away mice. I'm kind of digging the idea of a slightly higher paneling. And then having just... Okay, so having this... Okay, so... That sounded like I was a vibrating controller, like, rumble has been enabled. Okay, what was I doing again? I forgot. This archway, right, okay. So I'm guessing that realistically the archway would end... Okay, because we want to have, like... Okay, the foot is right here, which means that the archway needs to be kind of on the... Let's get rid of all this crap. Okay, so the foot is right over here. The second foot is right over here. Which means this archway needs to intersect in a way that will make it very obvious that that's, like, foot level. Okay, and then kind of keeping that line going, we will have the other part of the entrance. Okay. Or, you know, this can be a corner. This could be just a corner in the hallway. But the main idea is to... Where was I drawing? Right here. Good. The main idea is to preserve the kind of idea of the space. Got it. I've been listening to more mixes of that Sorrel guy. You've probably heard him at least at some point on the internet, but if you haven't, he makes a lot of happy hardcore music. He made a lot of like meme tracks back in the day. He still makes music now. It's a little different, but I love it. You know, I know that that's like always a super loaded thing. Like, do you still like the musician's music after all these years? I honestly think that for a lot of musicians, they do just get better over time. It's just like their artistic concept changes. You know what? It might not be what you first listened to them for, but it is like a technically superior version of it. Yeah, the only kind of exception to this kind of like rule of thumb for me would be, okay, I think I might have messed up here because this is like wood paneling, but only for like walls which have doors on them, I think. How do I take the... Okay, I need to learn like architecture or something, or like interior design. That is something that I've been meaning to do, is to just like go on like a Zillow spree, but instead of like shopping for houses, I'm just like stealing the interior design of each house, which is a loaded gun for me, because like I don't know if you guys have seen, like, I remember a VTuber colleague of mine, Shelly, she once did this stream where she looked at really bad Zillow house listings, and some of them straight up made me want to attack whoever designed their interior. So, you know, that's definitely like a loaded gun. If I go into there thinking that, oh, this is going to be like a nice... do rugs curve or do they bend? Let me take a look here. Rug around corner. Hallway. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. Look at that. I could also just, forgo myself the hassle and just make it so that the rug only begins in like one end of it. I think that would be the best idea. Okay, and then what we can do as well is actually just create a kind of like artificial arch here. And then kind of like imply that that kind of curves outward like that. And there we have like that kind of like fanciness. I think that's a good move. Should we have like a portrait here? I feel like we should have a portrait there. I'm not sure why, but I feel like we should. Yeah, we could just have a portrait of me up there. Or I don't know, portrait of like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like AI art, but I think the idea that you can tell the machine sphere to like, say, draw me Garfield, but as Alexander Hamilton, and it would just give you that is pretty awesome. Now I have to like, you know, if I wanted a picture of Garfield as Hamilton Jefferson or that dude from the friggin' musical that everybody pretends is really good. I've never actually seen Hamilton. I don't know if it's good or not. A lot of people shit on it because it's popular. A lot of people shit on it for very legitimate reasons as well. Like there are like arguments for shitting on it from an artistic perspective and from a historical perspective. The songs are good though. I will admit that the songs do get me sometimes. Yeah, I'm not a big musical guy, but I love like musical soundtracks. Yeah, okay, I think this can work. Although I am wondering what kind of designs. I should turn off the rulers so that I could work on the designs for the walls a little more. The problem is that a lot of it just kind of boils down to having different levels of different things. And while that's interesting, it does just also kind of suck. It's just not very exciting to me. Man, well, if that's how it goes, that's how it goes. What do I know about rich people houses? I'm a VTuber, for God's sakes. Why isn't it clipping to the ruler anymore? Okay, this is weird. Why isn't it clipping to the ruler no more? Okay, either I've been drawing the straightest lines of my entire life for the past 15 minutes and I just didn't realize it, or this ruler is broken now. Seriously, what is happening here? It's making me uncomfortable that the ruler isn't working anymore. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think it was just I accidentally like disabled the second button. I think that might have been it. Okay, let's see here. What did I just take away? Yeah, no, that can go. What else? Did I do anything else weird? I'm not seeing anything. No, wait, there we go. Okay. That's around the time when I kind of like backed off a little bit. Okay, so then we kind of bring it back down to around here. There we go. What we can have as well is like two-tone paneling. No, that wouldn't transfer very well to grayscale. There we go. Yeah, the one cool trick to making things look fancy is to be maximalist and minimalist at the same time. I'm just drawing lines here, and it's already looking much fancier. Rice hacks. Okay. I think I'm pretty satisfied with the kind of direction this is taking. I'm gonna save, and I think we can just end stream right around now. Is anybody else streaming right now? Let's take a look. Oh, Toast is doing some art. That's gonna be nice. All right. We'll rate Toast on Wednesday. I will be doing some additional character design, and on Saturday. On Saturday, I'll be playing some Flash games from a website called iMaze, which I did a lot as a kid, and I'm looking forward to that because it's been a while and I'm gonna have forgotten literally everything. All right. Stay safe out there. Peace.